When it comes to Game of Thrones, no character's journey is truly easy. Every character has their own obstacles to overcome, some more challenging than others. In the end, only a handful of characters rise to heights and steal the hearts of their viewers who are rooting for them. Thinking of which, we decided to rank the best of the best characters from the Game of Thrones that stole the heart of most of its audience and imprinted great memories that will surely be remembered by their audience. Here's our 10 best Game of Thrones characters that rose through the crowd and made a mark on their fans. Before we start, if you guys find this video interesting, please let us know by smashing the like button. And if you enjoyed the contents on our video playlist and want to see more, just click subscribe and don't forget to turn on the notification bell to get the latest updates. Number 10. Joffrey Baratheon, the sneery, whiny, sadistic former boy king of Westeros, went on a many-year rampage during his tenure on the Iron Throne. His slow transformation from privileged brat to torture-loving, self-righteous monster was like watching a train wreck unfold in slow motion, becoming more destructive and hard to fathom with each passing moment. But his importance to the show and events unfolding can't be understated. Joffrey was ultimately responsible for the execution of Ned Stark, deciding at the last moment the traitor should lose his head rather than take the black. Outside his direct contributions to the destabilization of the kingdom, his wild unpredictability and apathy toward the good of his people forced those around him to elevate themselves. Characters like Tyrion, Cersei, and Sansa all had to step into new roles to either try and repair the damage that followed him. Whether we like him or not, Joffrey was a catalyst of incredible change in Game of Thrones, and for that we have to acknowledge his importance, even if he is, without a doubt, just the absolute worst. Number 9. PETYR LITTLEFINGER. BAELISH. Lord PETYR Baelish, aka Littlefinger, orchestrated the entire conspiracy that kicked off the events of Game of Thrones by plotting the death of Ned Stark's good friend Jon Arryn and using that to gain power in King's Landing. The former Master of Coin and current Lord Protector of the Eyrie and the Vale of Arryn has a shrewd, calculating mind and rivals varies for character with the most secrets and schemes. Everything Littlefinger has done in the series has been part of a master plan that allows him to climb the ladder of chaos all the way to the top. Yet despite his backstabbing ways, his unrequited love for Catelyn, and then her daughter Sansa adds a pitiful vulnerability to his otherwise slimy personality. Number 8. Sansa Stark. To say Sansa began Game of Thrones as the least likable member of the Stark family is an understatement. The polar opposite of her sister Arya, Sansa felt she deserved a life of luxury as a princess and eventually a queen. But as fate would have it, Sansa would instead learn some incredibly harsh and cruel lessons about how things really worked in Westeros, enduring unthinkable losses and pain along the way. What makes her stand out is that she did endure, though, not giving up where others would, and slowly but surely adapting to survive in this environment. She began to actually play the Game of Thrones, using Littlefinger's unhealthy interest in her to her advantage when it counted the most, and eventually getting her well-deserved revenge on the loathsome Ramsay Bolton. She might never be a Cersei-level mastermind or run into battle like Arya, but Sansa's transformation over the course of this series is one of the show's most impressive. Number 7. Varys the Spider. Also known as the Spider and Master of Whisperers, Varys is a spy master and a key power player on Game of Thrones thanks to the secrets and information given to him by his informants, who he affectionately calls his little birds. He often finds himself at odds with Littlefinger, the only other character who can compete with him when it comes to secretly manipulating events to reach a larger goal. It was Varys who put Daenerys on the path to power and allowed Tyrion to escape execution to join her in an effort to return the Targaryens to the throne, which he claims he's doing for the good of the realm, yet his true intentions are never quite certain. The calm and soft-spoken Varys can be counted among the most dangerous and influential characters in the series. Number 6. Eddard Stark. Even putting aside Sean Bean's star power, which was an important part of the show's first season, the character of Eddard Stark does so much to set the tone of the show. His lessons about honor and loyalty and justice reverberate through the actions of his children, many of whom have become major players in the game. And his execution in that first season further sent the message that maybe honor isn't as practical as you might hope. Ned's shadow looms large over the entire series, both as an example of the type of heroic figures we are used to seeing in fantasy series, and as a major player whose actions still continue to ripple throughout the kingdom. I mean, he's been dead for 5 seasons, and he's still getting new scenes. Number 5. Jaime Lannister. Forever known as the infamous Kingslayer for his treacherous assassination of the Mad King, who he was sworn to protect, Jaime Lannister was once arguably the most formidable swordsman in Westeros, and a character who seemed irredeemable. His passionate love for his twin sister Cersei, his soft spot for his black sheep brother Tyrion, the loss of his sword hand and subsequent humbling, the deaths of his children and father, his bonds with Brienne and Bran, all of these relationships and events have revealed Jaime Lannister to be a far more complicated and significant character than his earlier Prince Charming from Shrek persona indicated. While Jaime might not be as thoroughly rotten as he once seemed, he's still not a man to let one's guard down around. Number 4. Arya Stark. Arya's journey has had a few rough patches, both in terms of what the character has been through and the stretches where the writers seem to struggle to give her something interesting. But what makes her undeniably awesome is that she is the least powerful of the series' principals, but has managed to keep her head while other stronger, smarter, and better connected Starks have lost theirs. She's reinvented herself multiple times, a water dancer, Aery, a blind assassin, just to name a few, but her hard-traveling twosome with the Hound is arguably one of the series' best arcs. Number 3. Jon Snow. It's no question why Jon Snow is one of the most important characters in Game of Thrones. Jon has all the traits of a classic hero: honor, kindness, intelligence, persistence, and selflessness. Jon proves time and time again that his duty comes before his own desires. When Jon is eventually stabbed to death in a mutiny by some of his own men, his allies desperately turn to magic in the unlikely hope they can resurrect their fallen friend, because he's a good man and the leader they need. Outside of his life in the Night's Watch, one of the most intriguing aspects of Jon Snow's character is his mysterious parentage. Accepted as the illegitimate son of Ned Stark for years, Jon has never expressed interest in ruling Westeros. But if he were to have a legitimate claim to the throne, plus the support of his Northerners as king in the North, well, let's just say we can't wait to see what happens when he meets Daenerys and her children. Number 2. Daenerys Targaryen. Whether Daenerys Targaryen proves to be a savior out of legend or a conqueror who is bad news for Westeros, there's no denying she is one of the most monumental characters on Game of Thrones. This series has been charting her rise to power as the character who seemingly is meant to sit on the Iron Throne since the very beginning, and her removed storyline is arguably just as important as anything happening to the West. It strongly suggested she helped bring magic back into the world with the birth of her 3 dragons, which is no small feat to say the least. Though her ultimate role in this story remains unclear, it's clear Daenerys Targaryen is going to be one of the most significant players in this story. Before showing you the coolest character in the world of Game of Thrones, here are some honorable mentions who never failed to give an impression to the fans and are deserving of such recognition. Number 1. Tyrion Lannister. Tyrion is the rarest of all things in Westeros, a smart person with scruples, While Ned may have shown more moral fortitude, his gullibility made him a quick casualty in the Game of Thrones. And while Littlefinger may have more insight in how to manipulate and exploit a situation, he only ever really does it for his own benefit. But Tyrion expends those same qualities to protect a realm and a family, up to a point, that reject him at every turn. His willingness to rise above his circumstances and his own notable failings to turn his intelligence and connections toward doing whatever he needs to do to keep the realm safe. Few shows have as many great characters as Game of Thrones. We've witnessed characters have gone through huge changes across the series' seasons, such as Sansa Stark, who went from annoying teenager to battle-worn ruler of Winterfell. Other characters have established themselves as some of the best villains to have ever been depicted on screen. There are those characters who were only around for 1 or 2 seasons, yet they still had a massive impact on the show. Perhaps the best example is Oberyn Martell, who quickly became a fan favorite before reaching a splattered demise. Do you guys agree on our most memorable Game of Thrones characters throughout the series? What are the best moments in Game of Thrones that highlight your favorite character? Who's your favorite character throughout the series? Please shout it out down in the comments and let us know why. And also, if you want to give your family a surprise gift for any special occasion, you can always check out our website and look for creative and adorable gifts. This has been Music Chests, your GOT Throne Keeper, signing out.